Almost made it. I just have one thing to paste into the live chat overlay. Bear with me. Almost got everything done in time. All right, I think that's good. Let's see. Yeah, I do coffee. Yes. In fact, there's probably a fresh pot that I forgot to drink earlier, but I just grabbed a bubbly. Actually, I had never seen this flavor before. It's coconut pineapple bubbly. Anyway, yes. So the reason that wow, I was wearing a hat too, as you can kind of tell. Anyway, every Sunday, my family, like my kids are all grown, they're adults and they all have their own lives. But my wife instituted, oh gosh, months ago now, like that we would get together and have a family brunch on Sunday afternoon. And I think I talked about it last time on the live stream. Like I wasn't all that thrilled about it because like, oh, then we got to like cook food all the time. But it has turned out to be the most amazing thing ever. It's just, I cannot explain how awesome it is. Our family is getting along better than we have in years. It's just amazing. We rotate houses. So, you know, sometimes it's at our house, sometimes it's at my eldest daughter's and her husband's house. Sometimes it's out at the farmhouse. It's just so cool. Anyway, so that's why I was at like the last minute getting here because I had to wait for cinnamon rolls to be finished. I wanted to try a cinnamon roll before leaving, and the farm is a half-hour drive away. So anyway, I made it barely in time, and I almost got the chat working in time, but I didn't quite get there. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. Hello, Lewis. It's good to see you as well. Yes. So, oh my goodness. I hope everybody is doing well. This is another No Real Agenda live stream. I just really wanted to live stream because, well, I missed last week. Last week I couldn't do it because I was taking our, we call her our daughter, an exchange student who stayed with us for like all of her high school career. And she is going to Michigan State. Michigan State. She's in the pre-med program or whatever you do to prepare for pre-med. I don't even know. Anyway, she's a sophomore at college this year in some like accelerated program, and everybody worked except for me. So I drove her down to Lansing last week. So that's where I was last Sunday. I couldn't do the live stream. But anywho, hey, hello. Oh, I'm gonna ruin your name there. I'm so sorry. Corey Nels? Anyway, yes, a Linux guy anyway. Definitely not the, but a Linux guy. So anyway, yeah, so I wasn't there, but the past 2 weeks, I don't know if you're not subscribed to my newsletter or you don't read my blog, which is perfectly fine. That's not a requirement to watch my YouTube channels or my YouTube videos, but, yeah, it's been stressful. Like we had a whole bunch of money slowly drained from our bank account, which sucked. But the looming end of health insurance is coming because I'm currently paying for Cobra. If you're not from the US or you're not familiar with Cobra, it's basically when you have insurance from your job, which is a big thing in the US. Like most insurance comes from your employer, which is just weird in general that those two are tied together. But anyway, and then if you are no longer at that job, you can still pay for the coverage that you got at that last job for 18 months. And so I was able to just continually paying the amount of money that it cost the company to provide me with healthcare, which was like, it was almost $1,800 a month, which is funny to think that is like awesome, yay. So yeah, about $1,800, little less than $1,800 a month. But the ability to do that runs out for us in November because that'll be 18 months since I am no longer training at CBT Nuggets. And so anyway, my wife got a job and they offered her like a part-time job for the summer at a bookstore. And a couple weeks into her employment, they offered to bump her to salary, full-time salary with benefits, which was just holy cow, right? I mean, that means that we'll actually get healthcare again. But then I'm kind of catching you all up on the weeks that have been chaotic here. my wife finally got to see a specialist, and her ankle, her heel, I guess, is so bad that it's almost certainly going to require surgery, and she won't be able to walk on her heel at all for 8 weeks after the surgery. And we were worried that that might make it so that the bookstore could not bump her up to full time with benefits, and we were back in the soup again. So anyway, she met with the owners. They're incredible. They're just going to work with her so that she can be full time, like on a knee scooter around the store. And it's 2 stories with stairs. They're just going to make it work. They're awesome. If you ever want to buy books online or in person, hit me up, because I got the best bookstore ever in my town. And I can't go on enough about McLean Aiken. They're just awesome. So that is what's been happening in our life for the last 2 weeks. And that's honestly a big part of why the next Linux Plus video has not dropped yet. Although, I mean, it is certainly in production. Here, I have proof. Let me prove it. There, see? I promise that's the next section. It's going to be 1.2.2, and we're going to look at sed, awk, nano, vim, all of those things. And yeah, that's going to be the video. I don't know if it'll be done today, but it's definitely going to drop, if not today, then tomorrow. And then hopefully get back on track to have some regularly released videos. Let's see. Oh, Scott Butcher, thanks for help on distro tanking. Yes. Okay, good. Oh no, the second half, I should have read the whole thing before I said good. Upgraded and updated again, and the same thing happened. Long story, I'm on Arco Linux with i3. Arco or Arch? I wonder if that's going to be the, if that's Arch Linux. So is this, Scott, remind me, this is the LDM or Light DM issue where like you don't get the graphical user login? That's, yeah, that's a bummer. Normally, LDM, as long as it's installed and configured, it should just come up, but reloads and stuff made it break. Oh, that stinks. Cornell's, we'll be going through the course. Today, no, I mean, there's not much of the course to go through. The first few videos of the course are up, but yeah, I'm going to go through the entire Linux Plus objectives. That's, I hope to be further along by now, but life happens, and I still have a full-time job, so this is always in the evenings, but yes, I'm going to go through the entire Linux Plus curriculum. And once that's finished, I'm not sure where we're going to go from there. I mean, I could just go right through and do like LPIC 1. It's very similar to Linux Plus, but I mean, it would be another whole course, or I could move on. I'll probably do a few other things. Like people have requested some non-cert based training on stuff like, oh gosh, I can't even remember off the top of my head. Maybe some more Bash, if I can come up with some more information on what to do with Bash. But then, gosh, I can't even remember some of the. I have them written down though. I'm not good at remembering things, but I do have the stuff written down. Just some of the things I want to cover, along with certification stuff. So yeah, but I mean, Linux Plus, we're just started still, so it's still going to take a while. But yeah, it's fun, and I enjoy having the completed courses. So like, for example, the Linux Essentials course being complete and ready to consume makes me feel good, right? I enjoy that if I point somebody to it, they can binge watch the whole course. And there are multiple people who have successfully taken the exam after watching that course. So that's great. Yeah. So anyway, Lewis, logging stuff and rotating those logs. Oh, okay. Yeah. In fact, because you said that, before I take that off the screen, I'm going to add it to my list of things, because yes, log rotation. And in fact, log rotation is something, did I just cover it in a video recently? I just had to do it on a bunch of stuff. Oh no, I think it was just something that I had to do. So let me make a note of that, because yeah, that's something that, most things come default with log rotate installed, but gosh, I really thought I trained about it. Maybe I didn't. Let's see, ideas. I have too many lists of ideas here. And some of these, I have to spell it out really clearly, because some of these things I'm like, what did I even mean by that? Log rotate stuff. I'm gonna put that in Bum. All right. What do we have? Honestly, I've been grateful that there's a break and uploads other stuff at the same time as long as I got caught up on everything. Shiro, I appreciate that. Yeah, well, that's totally why there was a break on uploads now. That's not true. It was just, holy cow, has it been a stressful couple weeks? But anyway, yeah, but it was MX Linux. Oh, sorry. I'm answering a question without putting it up there. The Arco links moved to Arch-based. I'm using a tiling window manager. Oh, and so Scott, is that what ended up breaking your what is I don't even remember what it's called. Like LDM, KDM, GDM, all of those login screens, they have a name and I forget what they're called. They're not desktop managers, but whatever the DM stands for, maybe it is desktop manager, but the GUI interface that appears before you get your logged in experience. Oh, wow. Check this out. Okay. This means nothing to anybody, but the guy who wrote this pop-up thing that I'm using, I linked to him in one of my other live streams, but he updated it because now all I have to do is tap again and it goes away. It used to be I had to click the clear screen. So Aaron is his name. Nice job with that, Aaron. Let's see. Yes, I did. This is the problem. Okay, Bjorn, what did I do? Yes, I did something. I did something. Hopefully it wasn't a bad thing. Charles asks, are there any plans for Ubuntu server or RHEL server videos? So I'm just gonna add that to my list because yes and no. RHEL videos. I have created a course in the past about the certification for RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. What is it? Oh, an Ubuntu server. Is there such a thing as Ubuntu server certification? I don't even know if there's a cert for that. Oh, the log rotation video. Okay, thank you, Bjorn. I thought I did too. I'm sure I just had forgotten all about it, but yeah, it must have been a one-off that I did because log rotation is good. So maybe that is not what Lewis was talking about. Logging stuff and rotating those logs, useful knowledge. No, yeah, that is. So Lewis, check out, look on my videos because yeah, I did something. It might, I don't know if it was not specifically about log rotate, but I had to do that because my logs for my some of my Docker services, like I run most services in Docker, and what's great about Docker is it's easy to move around and set up and isolate from other services, but usually logging is not set up to rotate, and so if you log, you can easily fill up your hard drive without log rotate. So I actually use my host system's log rotate to rotate the logs created by my Docker containers, which is probably a bit of a convoluted way to go about it. Anyway, display manager, DM, yes. Okay, display manager is what it's called. Got it running again, it tanked again after doing a full update. That's so strange. Normally, once it's installed, it just works. I'm so sorry, Scott. And I tend to be the type of person that, now this probably speaks a lot about me. If I have an issue like that, I will just make a copy of a recent backup, make sure I have my documents backed up and stuff, and I'll just do a fresh install, because sometimes if I'm not in a place where this is going to benefit me to troubleshoot, why this system, service is failing or whatever, sometimes it's easier to just install from scratch. So, I mean, honestly, at some point I would give up and honestly just wipe and start over and be like, I don't know what was wrong with you, LDM or light DM, but yeah. The log suggestion was for the benefit of other Linux users. Yes. And yeah, it's actually good just to know, because there's a lot of other options too. And yeah, Scott says the same thing. Thank you for verifying that I wasn't going crazy. I really did do something about logs and made a video about it. But yeah, it's important to understand, because okay, I probably said this in the video too, but a lot of times logs or programs are finicky about their log files. And so you can't just create another file and name it the same thing when you move your old file. So log rotate has some great things where it will truncate, where it basically makes a copy of the current log file, and then it it truncates the existing one. So like it's the same log file that the service is using. So the service doesn't have to like switch log files or whatever, because they're not usually good at that. But it just like you delete all the information in the open log file while it's open and make a copy of that. Yeah. So log rotate's really smart about that sort of thing. Yeah, so check out that video, and if it's not in depth enough, let me know, because sometimes I make a lot of assumptions when I'm making videos, things that are like seem I don't want to say obvious, that sounds condescending, but things that I don't necessarily even think about anymore, that are just like secondhand, and sometimes I miss those things. Like for example, I don't know if they're here, but somebody left comments on one of I did the SSH tunnels video, and that video really took off. Like it got a lot of hits because it was shared like on Hackaday and stuff. Anyway, somebody commented asking like, well, how come you could just type SSH Kermit? Like Kermit is the name of my server. And I guess in the video, I wasn't clear. Things, if your domain name matches that of, the server that you're connecting to, you can usually just SSH to the server by host name instead of the fully qualified domain name. And then I didn't do like spowers at Kermit because my local user is spowers and the user account on that server is spowers. And so if it matches, you don't have to specify the username. And I wasn't clear about that in the video. So I appreciate when people ask questions like that so I can clarify, but sometimes I do mess up. Let's see. Lewis says, the other useful things to have in your tool belt is a good ability to automate stuff. Oh yes, Ansible, Puppet, Chef, and possibly others. Yes, others would be, what is that one? I haven't done training on it. Salt stack. Is that a thing? Something with salt. I haven't done that. If I had to pick one, so I've made, not for my YouTube channel, I should specify. I made training for CBT Nuggets when I was a trainer there on Chef and on Puppet and Ansible. And personally, I just love Ansible. Ansible just thinks the way that I think as a system administrator, because there's no client to install. It all uses SSH. Okay, that's a bit of a misnomer. There is no client to install on the client machines. However, in order to fully utilize Ansible, the client has to have Python installed. So you, like for embedded machines, you can do a few things with Ansible, but as far as like all of its tricks and stuff, you have to, it has to have Python installed in the client, even though there's no Ansible client itself. Salt, yes, okay, Salt. Bjorn specifies, yes, it's Salt, and I haven't used that at all. I honestly, that's the one that I've never touched at all. I think I started with Chef, and Chef is funny because there's it hits the cooking metaphor hard. There's like cookbooks, and the program or the application you use is called Knife. I mean, it really hits that cooking metaphor hard. And then Puppet is a similar kind of thing. They're very similar in what they do. And Puppet was just, I think, was around longer than Chef. I don't remember the differences and nuances between them, but Ansible is quite different from both of them, and that's the one that I liked. The whole concept of desired state configuration. That's true. Yeah, because I mean, that's and that's often what we use like in the cloud, right? And I hate to use a cloud. It's such a buzzword, but a lot of times when we're configuring things, we don't even, in the real world, so to speak, like at your day job, there's not as much installing applications and setting them up anymore. A lot of it is you define the state that you want the server or the instance or whatever to look like. And a lot of times that definition or that outline of what it should do is flexible enough that it could be put onto an actual server or onto an instance like at an AWS or something. It's that's kind of how we do a lot of things now. And so, yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe some DevOps, and that's just, falls into the general DevOps tool set thing. Maybe I should cover what that even means and just like give some examples and then see if people want further training on individual methodologies for doing that. Yeah, and Lewis says, like, for example, if Apache should be present, it's installed. And if it's already installed, then it says, oh, that's already up to date. So yeah, you just define like whatever the system you're using. It's either like playbooks or I don't remember with Puppet what it's called. With Chef, it's cookbooks and recipes. They really did hammer that hard as far as the metaphor goes. I don't remember with Puppet what they're called. But anyway. Scott, your SSH video man may sound aware that I could shut his computer down anytime I wanted. Yes. How to turn off remote desktop. Yeah. Yeah, you can do a lot of things remotely. And, even if he turns off remote desktop, depending on the system, you might still be able to SSH in and do some stuff. I mean, if it has SSH, you can get in. Ooh, yeah. And if he gets too snotty, you can always just install smart outlets in his room and then just use Home Assistant to unplug it. Or, I mean, you could go old school, go in the basement, flip the circuit breaker and say, it's bedtime. But anyway, yes. So what's happening in the nerdling world? Let's see. I know I mentioned that Patreon's active. I don't like saying, oh, check out my Patreon, support me on Patreon. But that is something that is active. And I do want to keep trying to make that valuable for people who go above and beyond and actually do decide to support me financially with Patreon. I want to make that worthwhile. Like right now, there's a little bit of behind the scenes stuff that I post there. And let's see what else. I just kind of want to make that worthwhile. I do have a cool little graphic for scrolling people's names and videos. So now you're going to see the people who sponsor me are going to be in the videos now, which is just freaking awesome. Yeah, so that's the latest thing there. Lewis says computers have batteries now. That's true. Especially, laptops. Most everybody uses laptops. So, I guess, Scott, you're going to have to just unplug the router. Generally a house has Wi-Fi unless the kid's going to tether to his phone, in which case you may have lost the battle at that point. So, anyway, yeah, so that's Patreon. There's going to be a store. There is actually a store now. It's not ready. So here's the deal. I hesitated for a long time about actually getting a storefront for selling merchandise. And this is clearly merchandise right now is just for my comic. But I do want to be able to have other things, some Linux themed things and some kindness themed stuff. And I want to have some more merch for my merch is a funny word, but I want to have some more products that are tied to my comic, especially around the holidays. And I don't think that an online store is ever going to be a way that I make a living or much of an income. If it pays for itself, like the service fees, I'll be happy. But it's just fun to be able to have tangible things, right? It just makes me happy to have tangible things that I can have and other people can brag about, like spot stickers. Yes. So, all right, Shiro, you can go buy spot stickers now if you want. Here, I'll put it in the store.nerdlings.net. There are stickers available right now that you can buy on the store. But anyway, let's see. I was listening in the car and then it dropped. Oh, Dwayne, back. Hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Yes. Dwayne, did you make it last time? I don't remember. I know there was one time where you weren't able to make it. Let's see. MD. All right, Charles, MDM for phone control. Are these parental controls? I'm not familiar with MDM solutions. I don't know what that means. So now I'm curious. So let me know. On PFSense, you can kill schedule. Yes, that's true. You can schedule to kill the internet, probably by individual MAC addresses too on the network. But if the kid has a cell phone and he could tether his laptop to the cell phone, there's not much you can do there. Take away his cell phone, I guess. I don't know. That's where maybe the Charles MDM solutions for phone controls. But also, you can also just, tell your son, hey, it's time to go to bed. I guess, we don't have to have a technical solution to every parenting thing. Oh, let's see. Oh, Scott, I could tie in Wireshark to detect his online. I guess that's true. Yes. If he goes online, boom, halt the computer. And Charles clarifies mobile device management. Yes, that is true. Where you could even shut that down, or maybe it doesn't have tethering, et cetera, et cetera. Dwayne wasn't here last time. Yes. I heard on David Bumble's channel earlier that Neil Bridges has stage 4 melanoma. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That actually really sucks. Anyway, yeah. What other, okay, so that you mentioned David Bumble. So what other channels do people really enjoy? And I say that because I find that I watch a few channels and then my YouTube suggestions are fairly narrow. I'm not that interesting, I guess. I like watch, Jeff Geerling and Network Chuck. Obviously I know Chuck. Looking, recently. So I'll talk about that in a second. Sourdough bread making. I have not made sourdough bread in over a year. And you want to know something interesting, Lewis? My sourdough bread, and this isn't just me puffing myself up, but my sourdough bread is so good that everybody wants it. And I gained a lot of weight as I was making sourdough bread, because the other thing about making your own bread is it doesn't include a ton of preservatives. So you have like maybe 3 days and it has to be gone or it's going to get moldy. And I mean, when you have like Parmesan pepper, sourdough bread, homemade, you don't want that to mold. You want to get every bit of deliciousness from that. So anyway, I should start again, probably this winter. It's not as much fun to bake during the summer. We don't have air conditioning. I mean, we have some window air conditioners, but our house isn't air conditioned. And in the summertime, if the stove or if the oven is on, that can be very unpleasant. So maybe this winter I'll start doing that. David's channel was hacked. Oh, I saw that he did a video on being hacked, him and maybe Chuck as well. I didn't know that his actual channel was hacked though. I assume he got it back if he did a video. But anyway, yeah. Network Chuck. Yes, that's Linux Cast. Cool. Learn Linux TV. All right, that's good. I should write all these down because I want to check some of them out. Because even if I'm not going there to, like learn this stuff, I just, birds of a feather, right? I enjoy hanging out with people. Linux TV. Oh, I remember. So that makes me think of something that, it was his editor that was hacked. So, okay, so now I'm gonna have to go watch the video now. But was it so his editor, like for his YouTube channel, like did his editor have access to his YouTube channel, or was this like an external editor that happened to get hacked? Raymond. So, Tom Lawrence. Yes, I definitely watch his stuff. I also use PF Sense. I'm a PF Sense fan, and he's a fellow Michigander. Tom Lawrence is from, he lives downstate. He lives closer to the Detroit area than I do, but, he's a fellow Michigan person as well. I think we years ago had some connection, and I can't remember what it is. But he seemed more familiar than, like, we may have crossed paths at some event. I don't even remember. I'm getting old. But anyway, yeah, Tom Lawrence is good. He was hacked and he was saved by user privileges. Oh, so David's editor had access to his channel, but that account only had limited access. That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, and that's the same thing that, Dwayne said, that he had limited access. Good. Yeah, I'm glad that he was able to get that back quickly. Hopefully nothing nefarious happened. I mean, I hadn't actually thought about like a compromised YouTube account and having like another person with access to your account. Yeah, permissions are important, because I mean, I tend to be paranoid, right? With, all sorts of two-factor auths and complex passwords and all the things that you do to try to stay unhacked. But also, if there's another human being involved, whew, that's scary. I don't have anybody on connected to my channel. It's just me. But someday I will think about that. Scott, DistroTube. What is, I don't know what this means. What is DistroTube? I could Google it. I have the ability to Google. DistroTube. Oh, it's a YouTube channel. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It sounded like I'll have to look at that too. It sounded like oh, what is it? Something Tube Buddy. That's what it made me think of. It's like a Tube Buddy. It's a YouTuber kind of thing. It helps you with something. I don't know. I don't use it, but it's a thing a lot of YouTubers use. That's what I thought DistroTube was referring to. But due to limited access, the hacker has only changed the title and set the video to private. Huh. Interesting. So change the title and set the video to private. Yeah, that's a interesting set of abilities, I guess. Give all these people some advertisement here. Let's see. David, Neil, John Hammond, GZ2 Cents, Chris Greer, Adam Savage, hobby channels, fishing related. Oh, if you're like fishing related channels, so Jim Wright is a friend of mine. He's Stone Kettle on Twitter. His son actually has a YouTube channel now, and it's like CK Outdoors or something. He moved down to Florida, and he was actually recently back in Alaska. But check his channel. I'll try to find that. I'll send some love his way. He's a kid. I mean, he's an adult, but my friend is his father, so he seems like a kid to me. I'll find it really quick, just because since we're talking about fishing, and I am easily distractible. CKW Outdoors. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the chat. Yeah, CKW Outdoors. He seems like a really great kid. I've never met him in person, but I mean, obviously I know his dad pretty well. So anyway, so yes, that is, I'm ashamed to say, I don't even know his son's name. I assume there's probably a C, a K, or it probably starts with C, because CKW, I assume the W is right. Anyway, yeah, check his stuff out if you like fishing channels. The thing I just posted. Oh, I gotta stream back. Let's see. Streamed an Elon Musk video. Okay. A buddy of Tom Lawrence's Learn Linux TV. Okay, so I'm gonna address this. The nice thing is, there's no competition here, which is just stinking awesome. I actually really like that about YouTube. That there's no reason for me not to like send people to somewhere else, because I mean, yeah, if Learn Linux TV is great. And that sounds familiar. I think I might have interacted with this person before. That's just awesome, right? I mean, there's no competition because we're not, it's not one or the other. You can do both and it doesn't cost you anymore. So yeah, big fan of YouTube for that. Michael Moore, I am doing well. Pretty well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Now it's been a rough couple weeks, but I'm doing well. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Chris Greer. I don't know Chris Greer. I know Jeff Geerling, which is different, but that is, I just got to write all these down. I'm going to have the nerdiest YouTube stream ever. Bum, ba, da, bum, bum. Chris Greer and Jay LaCroix. All right. Yeah. Keep it tucky. All these channels are much better named than mine. Mine is named Sean Powers. It is what it is. There was a time, in fact, it wasn't even that long ago when I first started to try to like go all in to actually make the YouTube channel something that's valuable to other people. Man, I changed the name of my YouTube channel a bunch. Like it used to be The Brain of Sean, and then it was like something about community college. I don't even know what that was. And then I just decided my name, just my name. It was Sean Powers with a 0, like my username, my handle everywhere for a while, but I just went to Sean Powers. Figure if it was good enough for my mom, it's good enough for me. My mom's name isn't Sean Powers. I mean, good enough for her to name me Sean Powers. Okay, crosstalk solution. Okay, I got that one. CRISPR packet head Wireshark training. Oh yes, Wireshark Ethereal. Yeah, it's funny. So I didn't know that that was the same thing for the longest time. I'm like, why would we need Wireshark? We already, but yeah, obviously it's the same thing. Yeah, so I'll have to check all these people out. So anyway, yes. I wanted to talk about a couple things. I talked about the store, which isn't ready, but I hope to have like some more cool things ready, and maybe some one-off items too. I don't know. Having a storefront that's easy to add and remove stuff is nice. In fact, for the Patreon supporters who like got physical stuff shipped to them, I actually used the online store to do it, which was so nice because everything is just right there. You just click and send. So that was cool. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about is Discord. So we talked at the last live stream about getting Discord set up, and I did. It is set up actually. If you're not there, I'll put another link in the to quote the Green Brothers, the doobly doo. There, that's where my oh no, I didn't mean to click on it. I meant to do that. So yeah, if you want to check out the Discord server, it's there. I'm still not good at Discord, and I know I've talked to a couple of people, like Lewis is one of them, about trying to. Oh dang it! I did that thing again where everything minimizes. I hate Windows. Hold on, everything's gone. All right, I think everything is back now. Oh yeah, I was talking to Lewis, I believe, and yeah, it's not a terribly useful Discord right now, which bums me out. But I do, yeah. So I use Windows. Oh, that screen of mine is gone. I don't get to see me. Yes, this is a Windows box, and there's several reasons for it. But the main one is I use PowerPoint for my slide deck, and with PowerPoint on Windows, I can switch the color of my annotation pen using my Stream Deck device, like my Stream Deck, and I can't figure that out on any other platform. So anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, Kevin Bruce, greetings from Ecuador. Oh, awesome. Yes, Linux Journal. Gosh, I miss Linux Journal. If you look on the wall, I'm bad at pointing behind me. Right there is the very first issue of Linux Journal that I was in. Actually, that was the very first time I was ever professionally published, was in that issue of Linux Journal, and I managed to get the cover image. That's you can't see it because it's a little bit blurry due to the awesome bokeh of my camera. But it's I made a MAME machine, and it was running Linux, and like I put an old CRT in there and mapped an old keyboard to joystick controls. Anyway, I made the front page of Linux Journal, and then several months later, I was on staff. So yeah, that was kind of an awesome journey for me. Oh, welcome. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Yes, live stream. I am still going to try to do this every Sunday. Sometimes I'll have more of an agenda than others. This is one of those times where I don't have a great agenda, but that's okay. Owen Lewis is in the Discord. Hello from the live stream, Lewis, which is pretty meta. I'm saying that to somebody on a live stream who just messaged me on the Discord. It's like Inception up in here. Anyway, what do I think about PowerShell? Okay, so I do use Windows. Like right now, I'm on a Windows machine, but I am by no means a Windows expert. Definitely not admin. No. I don't know how to do much with Windows. PowerShell, I've had to copy and paste some commands. Usually, I don't know if any of you are familiar with CBT Nuggets, but Garth Schulte, friend of mine, he was a trainer there. He's not a trainer there anymore either, but he would often have me try things on my computer. I don't even remember what we were setting up. It was probably when we were trying to figure out virtualization for training of some sort. Anyway, he would send these really long PowerShell commands to me that I would have to copy and paste in. But the funny thing, so my only thoughts about PowerShell are one, It's about time that there's there's an actual powerful way to do things on Windows with just a command line interface, right? I mean, that's nice, but also their commands and their arguments are so long. I mean, thankfully they usually have like tabbed autocomplete, but I mean, it'll be like a 37 character command. And compared to Unix, where things are like CP, LS, RM, it just makes me laugh because Garth would send me this like long thing, copy and pasting in this super long command with super long command flags and stuff. But anyway, I don't know much about PowerShell other than it's pretty powerful. If you're a Windows user, it's awesome to learn. We both have a Netgate 4100. I do. I have one. What temps am I getting on average? I can look right now in real time if you want. Let me log in because I have a fancy WireGuard VPN to my farm, and that is where it is housed. I'm gonna look for numbers. So I've been typing ever since I was in 8th grade, and I learned on a manual typewriter, like the cha-conk, 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 cha-conk typewriter, and I still don't know the number key, the number row. After years and years of being a sysadmin, I still don't know the number row well. I usually have to look, which is just funny, I think, for me. It just makes me laugh. Let's see. I do have the 4100, and it is currently 33 degrees Celsius. It is pretty cool here today. And I have, do I still have that up? No, here, I'm going to put this up again. Do you have it like in a server rack? Where do you have yours? Because I have mine, but I also have it in the rack mount adapter because the folks at Netgate were kind enough to send that to me to include in my review that I did on, on my YouTube channel. And it is solid aluminum and it bolts in. There's not a whole lot of contact points where it bolts in, but it bolts into the metal housing of the 4100. And I think that helps dissipate the heat quite a bit. And so, yeah, mine right now, it's not a really warm day here, but it's 33 degrees. I don't know if they do charts. Do they do charts of degree of temperatures? Let's see. System, traffic graphs. I don't know if they do. Oh, these are just logs. No. I don't know if they do graphs of the temperature or not. But anywho. Yeah, mine stays pretty decent. Let's see. PowerShell is very verbose. Yes, that's yes, that is the politically correct way of talking about PowerShell. It's very verbose. UpD. Yeah, what are we talking about here? I don't know what UpD. My ignorance is showing here. So Scott, let me know what you're talking about. Because I'm not sure. How's the throughput on the 4100? I'm at 1.2 gigabytes my connection. So I guess I don't know. Straight up routing, I mean, it's supposed to do a lot more than gigabit. So I have synchronous gigabit fiber connected to my 4100, and I can't find a circumstance in my day-to-day usage where I need to go that fast, but I don't think the bottleneck is going to be the router for me. I don't think that's going to be where it stops. And I just have gig Ethernet connected to it. I have 10 gig Ethernet that my Proxmox switches are connected to each other with. I have a 10 gig switch for the Ceph file system, but as far as the actual internet connection, I don't have anything that's connected that's faster than gigabit, and the router seems to be perfectly capable of that. Oh, I'm behind. I'm sorry. Let's see. How about a video on timesheet and snapshots? Timesheet, I'm not sure what you're talking about there either, Scott. Boy, Scott, you're just throwing me for loops here. I don't know any other terminology. Snapshots, do you mean like VM snapshots? Again, let me know what you're talking about there. I'll try to answer better. Michael, I have mine in an open basement racked using the Netgate shelf. Okay, I really like the Netgate shelf. If you mean like the little like rack adapter thing that they're talking about, or that they just recently released. I think the 4100 fits in it. I think the 6100 does too. I don't know. I have a 3100, which they don't sell anymore. That's actually what I'm using right now in my house is a 3100, and I did that because I wanted to install VPN connection to my farm and just have it run on the router. And so that's really nice. And it just does. Oh, it's underneath a Unify switch. So yeah, I don't know what Unify switch you have, but I have all Unify switching as well. In my 8-port Unify switch, which I have because it's power over Ethernet, that sucker gets like too hot to touch. I don't understand why it gets so incredibly hot, but my 8-port Unify switch is like surface of the sun hot usually. I don't think my rack mount switch, I have a 48 port out there as well. I don't think it gets that hot, but boy, yeah, that 8-port desktop model, which is just sitting in the rack, gets really, really hot. Also, my Unify Cloud Key version 2 or Gen 2 or whatever, that thing gets really hot too. And I worry about that because there's a hard drive inside there for the video surveillance system. I wish that didn't get so hot, but it does. It gets really, really hot. I guess they used to. I don't think mine has a battery in it. Maybe it does. But yeah, it just gets so hot. Anyway, they graph temps. Okay, I don't see where the temp is graphed. So if you're poking around in your pfSense interface and you can tell me where to look, I'll look and see like what range I get on my router temperature wise. But I don't see it offhand. I'm just on the front page, like the dashboard, and that's where it shows me that it's currently 33 degrees Celsius. Who has the oldest computer here? Oh, let's see. Scott has a 2011 Mac Mini. I don't even know what my Mac Mini. This is my newer Mac Mini. And my newer Mac Mini is, oh yeah, it is pretty new. 2018. My other one died. The hard drive died, I think, and that makes me sad because it was a decent one too. This Mac Mini, so on my desk I have Windows, which is a big tower, and it's actually a new one because my other, sorry, that was email noise, because my tower died. So I just put this one together. It has like a 3090 GPU in it and stuff. It's a beast of a machine. But then I also have a little Mac Mini that is next to my monitors. It's like a vertical monitor, and I have it there because most of my family uses Apple stuff, and so having messages where I can text message to all of my family right there is just really convenient. So anyway, I have that, and I mean Linux virtualized everywhere, and all my servers and the racks are running Linux. But anywho, I guess I don't have any old things on my desk right now, so maybe you win, Scott. I don't know how old the Dell Optiplex 9020 is. My old Dell that just recently died is over there. I don't know what it was, but I didn't buy it that many years ago either. Oh yeah, okay. Lewis has a ZX Spectrum, and okay, so yeah, Lewis might win here because I've personally seen photos of him restoring a Next Step machine. Is it Next Step or was that? No, After Step was the clone for Unix. Next Step, right? That's the Next box, the Next Cube from like Steve Jobs was the Next Step. I think the Step was in there too, but yeah, the Next Cube thing. Anyway, so I've seen him refurbish one of those. So yeah, Lewis is old school. He programs his computers with soldering irons. So awesome open source. I don't know that I've seen awesome open source. I'll have to check that one out too. I'm gonna make another note. Look at that one as well. The 4100 sounds like a good choice. I'm really happy with the 4100. Like I said, I have a 3100 in my basement here, and the only reason that they discontinued it, I found out the owner, actually, one of the owners talked to me about why they don't sell the 3100 anymore. It's because like the chipset inside, they have to pay specific licensing fees to keep supporting like that particular chipset. And the juice wasn't worth the squeeze kind of a thing. So they just discontinued that model. And they're using, a different processor in the other ones. But anyway, as far as like functionality, the 3100 that I have here in the house has been working great. And the 4100 I purchased for the farm because I had a 8860. No, well, that's the tiny little chip. That's the 8366 or 8266, I'm thinking. But I had an older giant rack mount pfSense box from Netgate. And it was past the point of no return because while it might work, it was one of those Atom processors that can just die suddenly and never come back. I don't remember what the Atom bug was, but it suffered from that. So I didn't want to trust my farm to that device, even though it was powerful enough. I just didn't really trust it enough. So the 4100 worked out good. And then Netgate sent me one. So if I agreed to review it, they sent it to me and I got to keep it at my farmhouse. So yeah, big fan of Netgate, big fan of the 4100, not just because they let me keep it, but it's just awesome. So, anyway, let's see. It's a, pardon me. Oh, the Unify switch is a 24 port. So is it the, Michael, is it a power over Ethernet? I have a 24 port PoE switch here. I mean, the Unify PoE switch here at the house. That's what I use for PoE, at the house. At the farm, the 48 port is not PoE. But it gets, I don't think it gets hot. Nothing, it doesn't get nearly as hot as that 8 port. That 8 port switch just gets fiery hot, and I don't like that. Yeah, it could be the switch's fault, especially if they're right sandwiched next to each other. I don't know that Unify has great cooling. Like if the fans, I don't know that they have great cooling built in. I don't remember. At my farmhouse, I mean, you know, when you have a rack of servers, it's so loud you don't really know which one is making the noise. But I haven't noticed heat issues apart from that 8 port, and I know it doesn't have fans going. So anyway, time shift and snapshots of the operating system. Oh, interesting. So I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't do a lot of snapshots of operating systems. I probably should, because I tend to be, everybody's going to unsubscribe. I tend to be the kind of person where if something goes wrong, I guess reverting to a snapshot would be nice. I generally just start over, like have frequent backups and try to just start over and put the data there. I don't know. That's not the greatest way to go, especially because snapshots are getting more and more reliable and quick and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should learn it and then talk about it because it's a good way to go. Okay, here. So I'm going to look at my thing. So status monitoring, and then, oh yeah, look at all these graphic faces. Select system, default, left thing, left axis. Is that selectable? No, left axis system. How do I? Oh, there is no drop down next to mine. So when I'm on the graph on this page, where it says left axis system and it says processor, I don't have any drop down there at all. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't go to, oh wait, this is, yeah, no, I just don't have that. Wonder if settings, oh wait, I had to click settings and maybe I already said that. Let's see. Left axis system, thermal sensors, update graphs. Okay. Yes. See, I can learn. It looks like CPU1, CPU2, and whatever cord buck 0 is. It looks like the hottest thing on my system is the cord buck. I'll take it here just a second. Oh, this is funny. Let's see. Open an image editor. All right. Please stand by. There, if I full screen that. All right, now I can hopefully go over here. All right. So this is my, yeah, this is the thermal sensors. It looks like the highest I get is 37 degrees, and that's right now. It must know I'm talking about it. But yeah, well, that's Let's see options. I'm sorry. Let's go back because, like I said, it's pretty cold. So let me go back a whole month and see. Update graphs. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I know it didn't upgrade this because this is just a screenshot. But yeah, I never go above 37 point. Let's see. 37.5 is the highest that my thing has ever gone. So yeah, it's, I would check out that switch that's next to your, router because that's pretty hot. Let's see. Boy, I start yammering and I lose track of stuff. Oh, and we're almost out of time. I'll try to catch up on stuff before we quit though. There's one of those. Oh yeah. So Dwayne has a 2016 computer. Yeah. Again, I mean, I'm just saying that, Lewis is going to win because yeah, his next cube, I don't know that it was his, but he fixed it like with a soldering iron. I mean, that's a level of nerdiness that is just awesome. I want a Nerdling shirt too. So I'm going to, actually my wife is probably going to design stuff. There's going to be some other stuff in the store, like some shirts and some will be for my comics. Some will be just Nerdling thing. I got to get a better logo created too for Nerdlings. I have right now, you've probably seen that like pink head thing, which is cool, but that was really designed for the brain of Sean, because there's like picture of a brain, brain of Sean. So yeah, I gotta come up with something better than that. Oh, Dwayne. Oh, thank you. Mrs. after her surgery. Yeah. So she doesn't have surgery scheduled yet. We're not sure when that's going to be. But like I started the live stream with, thankfully her bosses are going to work with her for whatever it means as far as, mobility goes, which is just so stinking cool. Let's see. How about databases? Oh, wait, I missed the second half of that. My wife finds out if she has to have surgery on her back this week. Oh, goodness. I mean, wow. Yeah. So if she has to have surgery, let me know because I want to, send good thoughts and prayers that way because, back surgery is scary stuff. Also, I mean, if it's to the point where she's considering back surgery, whatever's going wrong is significant enough that hopefully that'll provide some, relief as well. Let's see. Databases. Which databases have you worked the most throughout your career? All right. Quick funny story. I know it's like 3 minutes before the end of the hour, but I mean, I did a video on some databases like not too long ago on the YouTube channel, but I mean, generally, MySQL or Postgres or whatever. But one of my career jobs, it was back in like 2012, 2013, 2011, sometime around there. I was the manager in charge of the database department at Cornerstone University here in Michigan. And it was a complete Microsoft shop. So I was the guy in charge of the database department using all Microsoft SQL databases and like all the programs that, use the database, et cetera, which that was a job that I enjoyed. I seemed to do okay at, but I can't believe that I was qualified enough to get that job, but I did. And yeah, so that's when I've used the most throughout my career, was when that was specifically my job to manage people who were database experts. So I guess my job was management, not so much database usage, but anyway, other than that, not anything more than anybody else does, just configuring and administering them, and not any database programming myself or anything like that. Let's see, Lewis's server is an old microserver N54L, AMD Turion desktop is a self-built based on Ryzen 5. Cool. Oh no, I lost the databases. How much SQL do I know? Not a ton. Yeah, no, I would not put SQL on any of my resumes. If other than like I was in charge of a database department, I would not claim any SQL knowledge if I was going for a job. Raymond, you mentioned earlier you have CephFS tutorial of Ceph. Yes, and so I do. I have a plan to talk about. In fact, I talked about in the last live stream. The computer that died on me, I had set up a complete VM system with 3 Proxmox computers with their own internal network, and I was going to demonstrate how to set up Ceph to work for highly converged, high availability in Proxmox, which is what I have set up at the farm. But I have to rebuild all that stuff again because yeah, it works great at the farm. I want to give a tour of the farm to show like what all that is, but then also give a demo of how you set it up from scratch. And I had that all set up with virtualization. And then yeah, it died, which just ticks me off. But anyway, CephFS has been amazing in production for me. I'm really, really happy with it. I was a little bit worried because it just seems complicated, but it mostly just works, which is cool. So anyway, Lewis, best to automate and deploy instead of snapshots. That's generally where I am. I don't know if that's the best case scenario. It's what makes sense to me. I sometimes when something goes wrong, repairing it seems like the duct tape model, whereas I would rather just do a fresh install. That's how it used to be whenever anybody was running Windows, right? It'd be like, I mean, it's getting slow. You don't fix it. You just format the hard drive and install it fresh, right? I mean, that was the Windows solution. That tends to be my solution if something goes horribly wrong with servers or things like that. Oh, Michael, good. Yeah, move that switch. I'll be curious. Let me know. Let me know if it gets better, if your temperature gets better that way. Bjorn, mugs. Yes, mugs. Oh, yeah. I really do have to get a cool logo, too, because to put that on there. And also, I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some kindness-themed things as well, because that's kind of, I mean, I literally have, Mr. Rogers. Boy, this backwards camera thing. There he is. Mr. Rogers behind me all the time when I'm recording. Big fan of being kind. So probably some stuff there. L2, L3 arthritis. Oh, L2, L3. That's yeah, that's scary stuff. I'm hoping things go well. My father actually had recently had surgery to have several vertebrae fused, both in multiple sections of his back. So he did say that while it was scary and the surgery was no fun, he almost got instant relief from pain. So hopefully that's the case if she does have surgery. I know I'm overdue. I'm gonna follow up on all these questions and then I will shut down. Comes from several back surgery. Oh yeah, here Scott's kind of saying the same thing. So yeah, hoping that if she does have back surgery, she has the same sort of relief that my dad did. I can do joins, but not well. Oh, this is database stuff. Yeah, so I have some stories to tell about. There's an old, what is it called? It's like a college campus uses software. It's like, ERP? Is that what the initials are? Basically one software package that does everything for the entire university, like from scheduling to paychecks to everything. I think E is for enterprise something. Anyway, they're using this one that it reminds me of the original Star Trek movie, where like Voyager comes back after a long time and it's like Voyager because it's like been merged with a whole bunch of alien tech. That's basically what this system is. And I mean, it's Ellucian. If you're curious about what the software package was, it was Ellucian was the name of the package. But underneath everything is this ridiculously old system that is running in a VM. And it's using an old database system that has like weird multi-value fields that doesn't directly correlate with any modern databases, but everything has been built on top of it as like translation layers rather than starting from scratch. So it's a mess. And that's what I was learning before I left the college, was how to administer this ridiculously old server that is at the core of everything that the college depended on. So anyway, bulging disc about 18 years ago. Okay. Yeah. Again, my dad's surgery ended up being fusing vertebrae. So again, scary, but it ended up being really well. And now he's part titanium. So snapshots are common for Windows things. Yeah. Even with Windows things, I tend to reinstall. Yeah. Which it's funny. I say something and then like the next comment, somebody said something similar. Yeah. Nuke reload and just restore data, not even programs. Chris, if you break things often, maybe so. I could see that being an option. And I will say when I'm playing with snapshot or when I'm playing with VMs, like teaching stuff or like new concepts, like how to install stuff, I will take a snapshot and revert. If I know that I'm going to make a holy mess of things, I will create a snapshot before I go into the making a mess so that I can just undo all that stuff. So I guess in that regard, I'm a big fan of snapshots. Let me know on Discord. Oh, dang it. What did you ask? Now I'm curious. Snapshots on Discord. All right, Lewis, I'm not sure what we're talking about. So you can message me on Discord and tell me what I missed, because I don't know what you're asking me there. Dump system and distro hop. Yeah, you can always do that. What do I think about death? I think it's gonna happen. I think someday I'm gonna be a rotting meat sack. I hope it's not soon. Yeah, but yeah, I don't want it to happen soon, but pretty sure it's gonna happen, unless there's what is in the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon talks about the date where we can transfer our minds to a computer and live forever. The episode is the cruciferous something, because he switches to a healthier diet, so he lives a little bit longer. But anyway, yeah. Unless we can transfer our brains into a computer, someday I'm going to croak. And on that lovely note, I will close the live stream. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for chatting. And yeah, if you're not on the Discord, please go there and hang out. We got to figure out a way to make it more useful. I want it to be a useful resource, and I don't know how to do that. So I need help for people to help me make that a more useful place. And thanks to all of my Patreon supporters. Oh, I don't have a way to like display them, but I'm going to call out the two. Like, so yes, Tanya Klukas, which she may or may not be watching, but thank you so much for being a supporter. And also Ben, I think Ben was okay with me saying his whole name. Yes, he was. Yeah, Ben Klein. I wanted to make sure I didn't want to like say somebody's name if they didn't want me to, but yes. So they are like top level Patreon supporters. Don't tell them that I'm really kind of a loser, because they're supporting me, at the top level. So anyway, thanks for joining, and yeah, hang out on Discord. Videos will be coming, and check out the store. I'll send updates about the store. I want to have some cool stuff in time for the holidays. If anybody wants to order like a giant jigsaw puzzle that I'm drawing up with my comic on it or something, I think that'd be fun. Anyway, I could just keep talking forever because that's how I roll. But have a great day. Learn everything. Do what you love. And most importantly, be kind. See you later.